Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
Superstar.
I am a superstar.
You see, reggae music come to unify the people.
Not everyone likes what you're saying. For your own safety, you need to stop.
Would-be assassins invaded Bob Marley's home and attempted to take the life of the singer, his wife, and...
Don't worry about that.
Fire is the element of power. The people of the Fire Nation have desire and will, and the energy and drive to achieve what they want.
Aang is the Avatar. He's the world's only chance.
Prince Zuko, it's only been a week since your banishment.
The only way to regain my honor is to find the Avatar.
You've always thrown everything you could at me!
Father considers you a miserable failure for not finding the Avatar.
Well, I can take it! And now I can give it back!
Destiny is a funny thing. You never know how things are going to work out.
It can be the ultimate weapon.
Everyone is counting on me. I'm supposed to save the world. I don't know what I'm doing.
But imagine what'll happen if you don't even try.
I thought you firebenders had some guts.
I don't know where this will all lead. The one thing I do know is this is just the beginning.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, good. Somebody said something. Okay. I don't know. Who put the camera on me?
I don't know. Whoever's controlling it.
Yeah. Weirdo. Damn. How are you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm here. We have a week where I definitely have things to say about everything. Like I always try to come up with some thoughts, but like this week I have to say was kind of easy because all three of my viewing experiences were just like, well, I guess one of them was good, and then the other two, it's like, man, I have issues. I have so many issues. But yeah, how about you, Bobby?
Yeah, I kind of have thoughts about everything.
Yeah.
I can at least say that one of my fears didn't come true to one of the things we talked about, or we're going to talk about, that we talked about, I discussed with you last week. I believe it was off the air. I can't remember if we were still live when I told you.
Well, was one of your fears concerning Bob Marley, One Love?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Like, I'm trying to
Well,
remember.
okay.
I know we discussed
Well,
it.
what I was talking about is how I feared that this would fall victim to the trope of your standard biopic movie, how it would start right before a major event in the artist's career and then go back to the beginning and have their moment of discovery, their rise, the fall, and the resurgence, which, to its credit, it did not do. And
no, it didn't.
To its credit, it did not do that. Though
no, it
the
seemed like it was
trailers made it
start with a
framed
major
like
event,
that.
and then then it's almost like. Then I almost feel like it's doing like a point by point for the next couple years. I mean,
it did start at a major event, but not a big performance like typical.
Yeah, no.
I'm honestly surprised they went to the shooting so quickly. In the movie, I was very surprised about that.
Hello, Mikhail. Yeah,
Hey.
one thing I do want to give the movie credit for, I thought the shooting was actually really well shot, especially how his wife was shot. Just like her looking concerned, and then you just like barely see a gun in the background. That was scary. That was well executed right there, and I will give the movie credit for how it did that.
Yeah, how they depicted such a horrific thing that actually happened. Yeah.
Shall you start or shall I start?
Some uncomfortable truths about Bob Marley. That message that he taught was definitely not one that he lived by. And I wish that was depicted as such, because it's the truth, and it's like I said, uncomfortable truth, but it is. I mean, he slept around on his wife. He beat every woman he was with.
No, because there is one aspect of this that definitely falls into the musical biopic. So is it Ziggy Marley, his son, who worked on this with the production company? And you can tell Bob Marley, like, he's not portrayed as a saint, but he is portrayed extraordinarily favorably, and I think he should be portrayed extraordinarily.
It was made.
Favorably.
It was produced with his daughter and I believe Cecilia Marley is his daughter. I think so, and Rita as well, who was a producer as well, along with Ziggy. So, did you get the Ziggy intro? Because I got a Ziggy intro.
Yes, I got a Ziggy intro.
One of the shortest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, part of me was like, I was like, oh, cool, Ziggy Marley, and then another part of me was like, oh, it means he was heavily involved in this, and it means, and you can tell because
I kind of knew that going into it as well.
Yeah, and it's like when it comes to these biopics, you get a family member involved, and it just becomes, very loving, and I don't want to be like, oh, how dare they depict their family member in a loving way, because they should, but at the same time, it's almost why maybe they shouldn't be as involved with the production.
True.
Because you're losing some honesty with it. And I actually think with the Bob Marley story, the little bit I know, I guarantee you know more than I do. I think you can tell an interesting story and not like, not portray him as a monster, but like portray him as a real person.
Yeah.
As it is, I feel like this movie jumps from just point A to point B in his life. I don't feel like there's a strong narrative really uniting stuff other than it's Bob's life. It goes over like 2 years. And the movie begins with a text intro to an interesting event. And then it's like after that, and then we follow around for 2 years after that. And then it ends with the text intro and even some actual footage of Bob at an interesting event. And I'm like, why didn't we cover these events more? This sounds really interesting. And instead we're like shooting around this. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't show the peace concert.
Yeah.
Instead, just I mean, we got to see the footage of it, but also we never
Yeah.
saw actors portraying either leader of the political parties. So,
but yeah, it feels like it's going to event to event to event over a 2-year period, and I do get the sense it's not telling an honest story because things are happening, and the character that Bob Marley is portraying here doesn't feel like it's syncing up to the events that are happening, and it's tough to describe exactly. It's almost like you have to watch it to get it. And by the way, as much as I thoroughly enjoy Bob Marley's music, and it is throughout this movie, I can't recommend this movie. I did not dig it. It did not work for me. But yeah, I guess that's kind of just my thoughts of this movie overall. And I will also say I think probably the two best musical biopics the past few decades. It's kind of a toss up for me. It's Walk Hard or Weird. And one thing I love about Weird is simply because Weird Al was involved, he didn't hide the fact that he was involved and just literally made up shit.
Yeah. Best biopic in the past 2 decades?
Yeah, musical biopic.
Love and Mercy's up there for me.
Oh, is that the Beach Boys one? That was good.
Yeah, that was really
it's been
good.
a while since I saw that. I forgot about that. That is actually a genuinely good musical biopic. That is something they do an interesting take on that one as well.
They do, and with that one, I read that Paul Dano and John Cusack never traded notes on how they were going to portray Brian. Just that alone is like, wow,
yeah,
fucking cool. They're both great actors.
Well, that also felt more real too. Like I felt like we were seeing like a real portrayal of Brian Wilson in there, somewhat. Like, and that's the issue with something like One Love. I'm not feeling like we're watching a real person. I mean, and here's a minor complaint, but it does drive me nuts. A couple of guys in a living room decide to grab a couple of instruments and instantly get studio quality sound. No,
that's a nitpick. That's a fair nitpick.
I've done enough of this type of stuff. No, you're not going to get that. Gotta remix it. You gotta.
And I noticed that immediately when it came into the mix of it, I was like, oh, okay. So we're hearing it in its fruition. All right, cool.
Yeah,
I'll go for it.
I was also not sure, like, did they just record it in the studio or were they just literally just grabbing the album tracks? I wasn't sure, but yeah.
I think they were grabbing the album tracks. I'm pretty sure.
I suspect it as well. But yeah, for me, mainly it's a movie that I am disappointed with.
Yeah, I kind of hoped it would be a little better.
Well, I mean, I felt like there was a real potential with this idea, and like you could see, like with especially the beginning and the ending with the footage and the text. It's like when the text came up and described stuff at the beginning and the end, I was like, oh wow, that sounds like a cool movie. But the movie's not about those events, and it's
no, I mean, and
what?
Yeah, with all those harsh truths I did say, like, it can't be ignored the impact he had in Jamaica and at that time. None of that can be ignored because that, I think, overall is what this film is all about. And yes, it told that story very well. I just minor things like I wish we would have gotten to see more days of the early Whalers, not just one scene of them.
Yeah,
because it's a crucial part to who Bob is, and that helped build that cultural impact that they made. That's something that I just kind of really wish was more in it.
Absolutely.
That's one of my major complaints about it.
Well, I guess Bobby, you are more familiar with Bob Marley's story. Did you catch things that were inaccurate versus accurate?
Well, with movies, there's always a list. Like the big one, they did kind of gloss over the fact that he slept around and had kids with other women, which is something I was a little unhappy with, and it didn't show him being an abusive person. I mean, Rita slugged him one. That was something I was like, oh, okay. All right. But nah, I mean, I think since the family wrote it or was behind so much of it,
Mm-hmm.
that they definitely wanted to leave Bob in a great light. So, yeah, I don't have my list of. I wasn't taking notes on all the inaccuracies that I found, but I know that there's some in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Again, I like. Well, I guess would you recommend it, Bobby? The movie.
If you're a fan of Bob's music and you want to see just a great movie of how it impacted the world, watch the movie because that's what it will. That's what it shows. So yes.
Okay.
Hey, Nicholas.
See, I guess I don't have too much to add, but yeah. Bobby recommends it. I don't, but Bobby is more of a Bob Marley fan. So, and although I do enjoy his music, so yeah, take that into consideration. Do we want to talk about the ending of Last Airbender, or is there anything else you want to add, Bobby?
No, let's go to the epic ending.
Yes. So yeah, this is my first time watching season 3 at all of Avatar: Last Airbender. This is awesome, and kind of, like some of it was predictable. Like I've been predicting for most of the series that Zuko would eventually be the one to train him in firebending.
Yeah,
and yeah, that was definitely what happened. And we didn't really cover last week about how Zuko confronted his father, which was absolutely fucking epic.
Yeah, that was great. That was really great.
That was the highlight of like the mid-season finale, really, for me. And I'm kind of surprised I didn't bring it up because, like, just Zuko suddenly realizing, Jesus Christ, I've been working to please my father, and he is an asshole, and I need to stop. And I just need to go help the Avatar.
Yeah,
defeat
Zuko
my
just
father.
realized that
Yeah.
his dad is a gaslighting son of a bitch.
Yes. And I love that I love that scene. And Zuko, and then it follows up with the next episode where Zuko is like rehearsing, going to join the Avatar team. He's like, "Hi, I'm Zuko. Sorry about trying to kill you all those times. I want to help you now."
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes really awkwardly, but they eventually accept him. And yeah, he gets Aang gets trained in firebending. Let's see. Let's go over some of the episodes here. Because the episode that's immediately jumping to mind, I don't want to dive straight into that one because it's the penultimate episode, the play, which was fun. But I'm sure there was some interesting ones before then. Episodes. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Firebending Masters was actually interesting. Learning about the first Earthbender was like a badger, and then the first Waterbender was a whale, I want to say, and then the first Firebender was a dragon, and then Zuko's kind of lost his way with firebending because he's lost a lot of his rage. And he needs to find like natural firebending, so he and Aang go track down a dragon, which are supposed to be extinct, but they find one anyway. That was a good one.
They find
two. And
that
then,
was a good one.
And then after that's the two-parter where they break Sokka and Katara's father out of prison. Zuko and Sokka, and then eventually Suki. That was a solid two-parter.
That was a good one too. Yeah, those are two great episodes.
Yeah. Well, this whole half season was a solid season. Yeah. Well, Jesus, it follows up with the episode where Katara is tracking down the man who killed her mother. That got dark. When she just walks in on that guy and starts bloodbending him instantly, it's like, holy shit. She is pissed. And then let's see. And then yeah, mostly. Oh yeah, that's right. And then yeah, and then you're at the play. I thought the play was fun. What do you think of the play, Bobby?
That one was funny.
Yeah. Toph is a dude.
Yeah.
Aang's a girl. Aang was really offended to be played by a girl, and it's like, in the theater, young boys are typically played by women. Just a little fact, Aang. It's very common. But that was just like the fun one, because after that it's like the 4-part finale, which is just an hour and a half episode. Where like essentially the episode starts with a beach party, and Zuko's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And then he starts going after them, and finally they're like, "Zuko, relax. We're not going to worry about the comet. We're gonna go after Ozai after the comet." And Zuko's like, "Just FYI, during the comet, my father was going to torch the Earth Kingdom." And that's when they're like, "Oh, maybe we need to go back to Plan A." And then yeah, so like they're rushing, and yeah, and Aang ends up on a mysterious island. He gets in contact with the past avatars. And yeah, and then essentially you get down to the battles where it's Aang versus Ozai, and then you also get Katara and Zuko versus Azula, both of which were awesome, by the way.
Those are all great fights.
Yeah, like overall, like what I'd have to say about this series is I think it starts, like the overall series, I think it starts strong and just like it just gets better overall over time. Like I think every like half season we've jumped through, I think everyone's been better than the last.
Oh yeah,
I think it has
absolutely. Like we keep seeing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was good. No, go ahead. I've been hogging this.
I was just gonna say, like, no, I'm agreeing with you. How each year, like, or each season, we see like more development in each of the characters, and we see them grow as characters, which is kind of rare for most television shows. But yeah, like this one, everything accumulated to just what we like, that big fight, that big build up, that big epic final episode. It was amazing. Like I was thoroughly satisfied with how this ended.
Yeah. Like, and endings can be tough, but like they build it up, and it's a huge fight, and a lot of it's focused around the fact that Aang doesn't want to kill Ozai, and most everybody's kind of telling him, "You got it. You're probably gonna have to." And that is one thing about this series, that they go out of their way. Like, really, almost nobody dies in this series. You I guess, like, you have Katara and Sokka's mother who dies, but you never see that.
No.
It happens before the series actually starts. And then the only death that happens in the series is Jet, which is so goddamn ambiguous. But I guess he's dead because he got hit with that rock, and then they're like, "Oh, he's going to die," and then he's still there and he's still talking, and then they just kind of cut away. It's one of those things where it's like, it's ambiguous, and you're used to fictional stuff having a big ambiguity and using it to not kill the person, but I feel like here it was like we're killing him off, but we don't want to show too much.
Yeah, like, let's keep it open. Maybe we could like have at the final.
Man, and he just never comes back. So
no,
Jet's dead.
I actually forgot all about him. I watched the live action.
Yeah, we'll get to the live action, because that takes a different approach to this thing.
That's right, Jet.
Yeah. But yeah, just overall, I thought this was a fantastic series. I'm glad I finally sat down and watched all of it. Highly recommend it. Especially for American animation. This is just really well done stuff. Yeah, I guess, do you have anything to add, Bobby? Because, like, I think my overall review is I just really, 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 really liked this.
No, I'm echoing the same. I thoroughly enjoyed the series. I'm kind of sad it's over.
Yes. Well, at some point, if they do, I was thinking if they if they do, or if we just end up with extra time, we should probably go over Legend of Korra sometime because
Okay.
that would be
Okay.
awesome.
Cool. Cool. I mean, yeah, I was sad this was ending. I was sad to say goodbye to the characters, but I had a slight shred of optimism because we were also covering the live action this week.
Yes. So we got more Avatar.
Yeah, so we could just move right into that. Yeah.
So the Netflix live action Avatar: The Last Airbender.
This is it's fun.
Yeah,
there are things about it that are very similar to the animation, like the ending credits music, and the opening of Katara just doing the voiceover of like the intro to the episodes.
Yeah,
I thought that was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I will admit, I mean, I do like a lot of what they're doing. I just prefer the animated more.
Well, I think there's potential.
I think Appa
what they're
looks
doing.
amazing.
Who looks? Oh, Appa.
Appa.
You know what shocked me is I thought Momo was like. I couldn't believe how well they did Momo.
Yeah, that too.
And
that too. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Momo popped up, and I was like, that looks different, but I'm game. That works.
I think some of the acting can be flat at times.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. So, one thing that is really distracting here, especially not so much in the Earth Kingdom, although to a degree, but in the Water Tribe, there's some really bad screening going on, and the effects here can get very shoddy at times, which is very disappointing. And it can get distracting. Character-wise, and I also want to stress, I feel like we only watched the first 4. We're gonna finish this off next week. This 2 half seasons, doing a whole season and a half season in one episode, it's a bit much. So we just did 2 half seasons, which still gets to be a bit much. But yeah. I felt like every episode got better. The first one was probably the first one's the longest and the most. The visual choices
the first one, like I do have something I want to just. I felt like they were rushing a lot of plot points from the first few episodes into one, and I kind of felt it was a little convoluted. I mean, I guess I want to be clear. I didn't hate this. Like I enjoyed what they were doing, but how many seasons are there going to be of this?
Who knows?
Or are
I'm
they
assuming every season's supposed to cover a season of the animated, but who knows? We'll see where they end up. Because if they end up at the Northern Water Tribe saving them, then it's probably the plan.
It's kind of almost going beat for beat.
It's beat for beat, but there are variations that I appreciate.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I kind of really appreciated. Like when Zuko first battles Aang, and they're in that like market in the earthbending place where they meet the guards. So I was like, okay. I really liked the one extra that stood out to me, and it was the cabbage salesman.
Yeah,
where he just
the cabbage.
My cabbage.
That was actually, you brought that up to me, and I was like, I haven't come across that yet. It was right before I watched the 3rd episode.
Okay.
It's like, oh, there's the cabbage salesman. Oh.
You're like, okay, now I see what he's talking about.
Yeah. The cabbage salesman was a standout.
that was some, you're tearing me apart moment.
Yeah. So there's some visual choices here that work, and then some that don't. And then there's some stuff that I feel like they're going too much for the cartoon, and some stuff where I feel like they're doing a good mix. Something that they do well that I think looks really good, the Kyoshi warriors. Suki, that makeup.
Oh,
just the look of those warriors.
They look great.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, fuck yes. Oh, fuck yes,
those
we're
are
here.
them. That's in it. A visual that doesn't work. The Water Tribe robes, and to a lesser extent the Airbender outfit Aang has, it's almost too clean and looks too much like props.
It looks
It
a
does
little
not
too
look.
costumey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like, there's a few shots where you see like the back of the costume and
Mhm.
Aang's looking at somebody. I just think, God, did they just borrow this from M. Night Shyamalan's movie? That looks like the same outfit.
Well, and it's like, did they wash it before every shot? Like, I feel like this stuff should be looking like a bit more worn than it is.
Yeah, now some of the cast in here is actually really good. Like like Sokka's actor.
Mhm.
I think he nails the character.
Mhm. Yeah, no, as it goes, I feel like we're getting a good grip on Sokka. And I actually think Aang's actor is really young, but I think overall he's doing a really good job. I think the standouts here, and they're kind of the standouts in the animated, but they're really focusing a bit more of it on here, and they're doing a good job. Zuko and Ira.
Yeah,
And
Zuko
I
is.
want to stress, yeah,
Yeah.
like Zuko is kind of, he feels a bit more insane here, but it works. And then
He's selling
Ira,
it very well.
yeah, and then Ira, like the actor Paul Sun Hong Lee, he is doing a different thing than Mako because you can't compete with Mako. But the thing he is doing is really fucking good too. And somebody is thudding in the apartment complex. I hope you guys don't hear that. But he is doing something different from Mako, which is smart, but like he's doing a really good job of it. And the Zuko and Iroh's scenes together are fantastic. They're really doing a good job with that. I feel like the character that probably needs the most work at this point is Katara, because I don't really feel like it's not really feeling like Katara quite yet, and maybe they're doing a different thing because all the characters are a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's like the core spirit's there, but it's all a little bit different, which I feel like is a very smart move. For me, I have very mixed feelings about this adaptation so far, but I think it's getting better. Oh, another costuming thing that I think is.
I'm hopeful.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm still a little hopeful for it.
Yeah, I will
Because
say another costume that I think is really well is how they do the Fire Nation costumes. Those look fantastic.
Ooh, they look slick and evil.
Yes.
Ooh. The ships too.
Yes.
The ships are impressive.
I still wish the effects were a bit sharper. But yeah, sometimes that takes me out when like we get to a scene and it's clearly screened, which there are plenty of those. The fire stuff mostly looks pretty good. Oh, and another thing that bugs me is the quick cut action that they do a bit too often.
Okay, yeah, they
for
did
the
that a
most
lot
part-
during Jet stuff, and
Yeah.
it kind of got a little obnoxious to me. I was like,
The action is mostly easy to follow, but not always, and it's I like if you don't know how to do quick cut so it looks good, just do long shots, guys. I know long shot for an action scene is tricky, but it's gonna be easier than a sloppy looking one. So that would be my recommendation. So I guess the question is, do we recommend it at this point?
too early for me to call.
And
Too early for me to call.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I guess I will say, just based on these first 4 episodes, I hate saying this because there's stuff on here I'm really liking. I'm kind of leaning towards a no, but like I'm hoping it gets better.
Did you make pros and cons?
Of course.
Oh, that's beautiful.
No, it's because I'm so tossed up on this because there's stuff I'm really liking and stuff I'm like, eh. And this
It's
one,
too early for me to call.
It's down the middle for me right now.
Okay.
Now, like I said, every episode I thought was getting better. So maybe 5 through 8 will be just be an improvement on 1 through 4. In which case, it will probably nudge up to a yes for me.
Okay. So
if it continues that trajectory.
Out of all of the different benders that we have seen,
mm-hmm.
you know, from the cartoon,
mm-hmm.
what would you pick if you could be a master of one, would it be
Hmm.
air, water, fire, or earth?
Well, here's the thing. So I think fire looks the coolest, but I actually think air would be the most useful.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
lean towards
earth.
air.
Earth.
Your earth would be useful as well.
Because, like, let's not forget, you can imprison somebody and immobilize them. Like,
True. That can be
You got-
really effective.
yeah, I think water can be good as long as you can, manipulate it to freeze. Then you could be ruthless with it. Air, yes, definitely one of the better ones because he could fly away.
Yeah, and air is all over the place.
Hmm.
Earth's pretty accessible. Water can be spotty, although it's fairly accessible, especially if you're a bloodbender, though. If you're a bloodbender, that's not an issue.
If you're a bloodbender, then yeah, nothing is an issue for you.
Yeah, you got this.
But blood wasn't an option.
Yeah. Well, it's a variation on water bending.
I mean, depending on the levels of water within, one's blood.
Mhm. No, I was just looking at the episodes here. Oh yeah, and I will also say I wasn't a huge fan of Boomy. I felt like they were trying to do like the animated version and do a realistic version and kind of mix it, and I don't know if it quite works. I think they need to lean more one or the other, and I actually think that'd be part of my criticism for this as well. It seems like lots of times they want to like lean into the animated version and do as accurate to that as possible. It doesn't always look as good as it could when they do that. And I think they should lean into drawing heavy inspiration from the animated version, like they're doing with the characters mostly, and then kind of do their own thing, which they haven't quite done yet, in my opinion. But
no, not really.
And there's something else I wanted to bring up. I'm trying to. There's the Boomy stuff. God, I don't remember what else there was.
I like this rendition of Secret Tunnel.
Yeah. This rendition was a bit different. And they did a good job with it.
It took me until they were saying Secret Tunnels when I was like, oh my god, they're doing the song.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that there's lots of times where I'm just watching going, oh, they're doing this episode. Oh, they're doing this episode. Okay.
Yeah, when Aang came as the former Avatar form in that one final episode, that was like, oh, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I had still had my phone open from when I sent you the cabbage salesman stuff.
Yeah, the cabbage salesman was the best character.
Hey, you want some cabbage?
Yeah. No.
I loved it.
It's gonna drive me nuts. I'll remember when we're off the air.
Yeah, probably. So just for a final tally, you said you're gonna go with air. You'd go
I
with
think
air?
I'd go with air, although Earth is tempting.
Earth.
Honestly, like even though fire looks cool, I think if I were to put them in order, I'd probably go air, earth, water, fire.
Yeah. Earth, water, air, fire.
Mm-hmm. I am. Oh yeah, so I think a couple things worth noting is that we've already seen Ozai in a couple episodes, and we've already seen Azula in a couple episodes. So they didn't wait on that one at all.
That's kind of makes me wonder where they're gonna go. Or like at first, I'm thinking, are they just gonna cram all 3 seasons into this 8-episode block?
Oh, they're definitely not.
Are we gonna meet? Are we gonna meet Toph soon? Like, what's going on?
That'd be wild if we met.
Like, if episode 5 we meet Toph, that'll.
Oh, that'd be wild.
I'll just know, like, I'll just be like, yep, they're cramming all 3 seasons into one season. All right.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite doing that, but I guess if Toph does pop up, then yes. I don't know what else they could be doing then.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, mixed bag. And I'm gonna remember what it was after we're off. God damn it. Well,
It's
maybe
always
I
how it
just sit here
goes,
and go,
man.
ooh, a bit longer.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I guess is there anything you want to add, Bobby? Or
No.
okay. Well, let me dig up next week's here and see what we're covering next week. Oh yeah, of course we're going to finish Avatar. Netflix's Avatar: Last Airbender, and we'll see how it goes. I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah, hopeful.
I'm hoping it keeps on improving. I want to turn my no to a yes because it's right there. I'm getting into it. Oh, and we got Dune Part 2, which I'm excited to see. That should be awesome.
I am not.
Oh, you're not? I love the first Dune. I love the
It
email you.
bored me. It bored
Really?
me to death. Yeah, it bored me.
No,
Yeah, as I recall, I didn't even make it through the whole thing because I made the genius decision to try and watch the original Dune immediately followed by that. Yeah.
Oh, well, the original's going to put you to sleep.
I enjoyed it more.
Oh, I vastly disagree.
Okay. That's fine. We can disagree.
No,
That's
we
the
can't.
beauty. That's the beauty of this country. We have the freedom of choice and choose to exercise that right by not enjoying things that we don't care for.
I see. Let me see. Oh, and the other thing is getting ready for X-Men 97. We'll go ahead and check out X-Men Season 1, the animated series. Which should be fun.
That should be.
Yeah. I haven't seen that. Listen, my daughter watched that. I don't know if it's quite been 10 years, but it's been a while. My son never got into that series though, so it's been at least a few years since I've seen it. It was on Netflix when we watched it, pre-Disney Plus. So it's been a while, so it'll be good to dive into that. And also get a refresher before X-Men 97 comes up. Did you see the X-Men 97 trailer?
Yes, I did.
That looks awesome.
I don't think they got a lot of the voice cast back though. Did they?
No, they got most. They got most of the voice cast.
Because Wolverine sounds different from how I remember him. Same with Gambit.
He might be older, or it might be a different guy. I know they got Rogue back. Let me double check that. Let's see. Okay, it's new Jean Grey. Huh. New Cyclops. Okay, I thought they got back more of the originals. I wonder how many are still around.
Yeah, that's also a good question.
Mm-hmm. Same Rogue. We're gonna figure this all out right now, live on the air.
Yeah. All right.
Same Wolverine.
Okay.
Let's see. We're already there. So let's see. We got Beast. Same Beast. I'm guessing a new morph from this guy's picture. Yeah, new morph. Morph wasn't a regular anyway, so.
No, he was like in the first few episodes, as I recall.
Yeah, he was in the first two, and then he pops up later as a villain. New Gambit.
That's it.
Then we got Nightcrawler. New Nightcrawler. Yeah. Seems like it's gonna be half and half.
Okay, that's still fine.
Kind of.
What do you think of the new character designs?
I think it works.
Me too.
I think we'll see how it plays out, but I think it's kind of similar enough to work. New Magneto, by the way. New Bishop. All right, yeah, no, I think the character designs overall work well enough to look like kind of like the original. You know, I can kind of show it off right here. You know, there's some new character designs, and I think that works. To kind of be like the original, but not it's not quite the same. I think it's similar enough to work. Um, yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next week we'll start getting reacquainted with the original animated series. Did you grow up on that series, Bobby? Because I know
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yes.
That and Spider-Man.
Yep, Spider-Man came out a couple years later, and that's a series I could definitely use a follow-up because they left that ending kind of semi-ambiguous. So
With
it would be
Madam
nice
Web,
to
if I'm
actually have
not
a
if I'm not
follow-up.
mistaken.
Yeah, with
If I'm
Madam
not
Web
mistaken,
saying,
yeah.
yeah, Madam Web saying, "I will guide you back to Mary Jane" because she was lost in the multiverse or whatever. And then, they never actually fixed that issue, and it
Poor Peter
clearly felt
Brady.
like something.
And poor Peter Brady.
And holy crap, something I just realized looking at this picture? Jean
Hmm.
Grey's pregnant.
Huh. She is.
Yeah, I just clicked. I was like, "Oh, wait, that's a baby bump." So I'm assuming that will be part of the storyline. Yeah, I guess we will find out in a few weeks.
Yes.
But let's see. So I know I am doing a regular stream on Thursday. We'll be covering Critical Drinker's new movie trailer because
He made a movie.
he made a movie trailer at least. I don't know.
Oh, bless his heart.
We will see. I get to thoroughly dissect it if it has any minor issues. So I think that's fair.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's coming up on Thursday, and I think that's about it. I got videos coming out throughout the week. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, everyone. Anything you want to add, Bobby, before we sign out officially?
Just take care.
Yeah. Party on and be excellent to each other.
Whatever you do, take care of your shoes.